Alright, this is lesson 1.5, angle relationships, starting on page 50. Number 1, name an angle pair that satisfies each condition. Two acute vertical angles. So vertical angles are formed by straight lines intersecting, and they're the angles across from each other. So this angle here and this angle here would be vertical angles, and we can tell that those angles are less than 90, so they're acute. So our answer would be angle WVU and angle YVZ. Number 5, lines X and Y intersect to form adjacent angles 2 and 3. If the measure of angle 2 is 3A minus 27, and the measure of angle 3 equals 2B plus 14, find the values of A and B so that X is perpendicular to Y. So we'll start by drawing X and Y, and we want the values so that these two lines are perpendicular. And the measure of angle 2 is 3A minus 27, so we'll put that right here. And the measure of angle 3 is 2B plus 14. And it says that 2 and 3 are adjacent angles. So here we have them adjacent. They have a common side, common vertex, no common interior points. So if these two lines are perpendicular, then each of them will be 90 degrees because we would have perpendicular lines forming right angles. So all four angles would be 90 degrees. So we would set 3A minus 27 equal to 90. So if we add 27, we'd get 117. And if we divide by 3, we would get 39. Then do the same thing for B, so set it equal to 90. And subtract 14. And divide by 2. So B is 38. For number 7, determine whether each statement can be assumed from the figure and explain. Angle EDB and BDA are adjacent, but they are neither complementary nor supplementary. So EDB, we have this angle, and BDA, this angle. They are adjacent because they have a common side, common vertex, no common interior points. And they would not be complementary because this angle plus this angle plus this angle has to equal 90. Therefore, these two added together cannot equal 90. And if they don't equal 90, then there's no way that they would equal 180. Therefore, they are also not supplementary. Name an angle or angle pair that satisfies each condition. Number 9, two acute vertical angles. So two angles that are vertical angles that are less than 90. So angle BFC, this angle is less than 90, and it has a vertical angle right here. So GFD. Angle BFC and angle GFD. Number 11, two complementary adjacent angles. So we want adjacent angles that add up to 90. Since we have a right angle on this side of the line, then the angles on the other side must also add up to 90. So angles FDG and GDE are complementary, and they are adjacent because they share this side and common vertex. Number 17, an angle supplementary to JAE. So JAE would be this angle. Supplementary to that, well, we can just say that its linear pair we know will be supplementary. So this angle plus this angle, which is BAE. Number 19, find the value of each variable. Since this angle and this angle are vertical angles, we have the x and then the angles across from each other. Those are always vertical angles, which we set equal to each other. Vertical angles are congruent. That's the vertical angles theorem. So set them equal, solve for x, add 10. And divide by 2. On number 21, we would do the same thing. We have vertical angles here. So these two angles are vertical angles. We have the x and the angles opposite each other. Likewise, this angle and this angle are vertical angles. So we can set 2x plus 25 equal to 3x minus 10. So subtract 2x from both sides, add 10 to both sides, and we get x is equal to 35. So our next step would be to substitute that in here. So we would have 105 minus 10, or 95 degrees. And this angle, they're a linear pair because we have a straight line and adjacent angles along a straight line are a linear pair, which are always supplementary. So y plus 95 equals 180, and therefore y is equal to 85. For number 25, angle E and F are supplementary. The measure of angle E is 54 more than the measure of angle F. Find the measure of each angle. So if we call the measure of angle F x, then the measure of angle E is x plus 54 because it's 54 more than the measure of angle F. So if they are supplementary angles, they must add up to 180 degrees. So combine your like terms. And subtract 54 from both sides. And divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to 63. And that's the measure of angle F. And the measure of angle E is 54 more than that. Oops, made a mistake. It should be 63 plus 54, which is 117. Number 27, the measure of the supplement of an angle is 40 more than 2 times the measure of the complement of the angle. Find the measure of the angle. So if we let x equal the measure of the angle, and we call c the complement, so the complement would be 90 minus the measure of the angle. So if the angle was 40 degrees, the complement would be 90 minus 40, or 50, for example. And then the supplement, it says, is 40 more than 2 times the measure of the complement. So 2 times the complement plus 40 will be the supplement. So I can put this in terms of x, and s is equal to, where the complement is 90 minus x, so 2 times 90 minus x plus 40. Now I can set up my equation. So I know that supplementary angles add up to 180. So the supplement plus the angle itself has to equal 180. So distribute. I would subtract 180 from both sides, so I get this equation. Combine like terms. And add x to both sides, and x is equal to 40, where x stands for the measure of the angle. So the angle is 40 degrees. Okay, let's use the figure at the right for number 29. If the measure of angle KNL is 6x minus 4, and LNM, so this angle, is 4x plus 24, find the value of x so that KNM is a right angle. So KNM is a right angle. So, in other words, we would want these two measures to add up to 90. So combine like terms. And subtract 20 from both sides. And divide by 10. So x is equal to 7. Number 31, if LNM equals 8x plus 12, and JNL is 12x minus 32, then we want to find the measure of angle JNP, which so happens to be vertical with LNM. So it will also be 8x plus 12. Okay, but what we need to focus on is our straight line here, which is 180 degrees, and we have a linear pair. So we have two measures, this angle and this angle, which must add up to 180. So combine your like terms. Add 20. And divide by 20. So x is equal to 10. Then we have to substitute that back in. So 8 times 10 plus 12. So J and P would be 92 degrees. Line WX and line YZ intersect at point V. If the measure of angle WVY equals 4A plus 58, and the measure of angle XVY equals 2B minus 18, find the values of A and B so that line WX is perpendicular to line YZ. So start by making a diagram. And so we want the measure of WVY to be 4A plus 58, and XVY, so this angle to be 2B minus 18, and find A and B so that the two lines are perpendicular, so that they form 4 right angles. So if they form 4 right angles, then we would want 4A plus 58 to equal 90. So subtract 58. And divide by 4, so A is equal to 8. And then likewise, we would want to set 2B minus 18 equal to 90. So add 18 and divide by 2. So A would need to equal 8, B would need to equal 54 if we want WX to be perpendicular to line YZ. Determine whether each statement can be assumed from the figure. Explain. So number 37, 4 and 8 are supplementary. So can we assume that 4 and 8 are supplementary? Well, in our diagram it gives us a straight line, which is always 180 degrees, and 4 and 8 are adjacent angles along that straight line, which we call linear pair, and linear pairs are always supplementary. So can we assume that 4 and 8 are supplementary? Yes, by the fact that 4 and 8 form a linear pair. So on 39, can we assume that 3 and 6 are congruent? No, we cannot. The only thing that we know is that those two have to add up to 90, since we have 90 degrees on the other side of the line. So these two have to add up to 90, but just because they look like they're congruent, we cannot assume that they are. Maybe this angle is 46 and this angle is 44, for all we know. The wing of the aircraft shown can pivot up to 60 degrees in either direction from the perpendicular position. Number 43, identify a pair of vertical angles. So we have straight lines intersecting, so 2 and 4 are vertical angles, and 1 and 3 are vertical angles. On number 45, if the measure of angle 1 is 110, what is the measure of angle 3? So 3 would also need to be 110 because it's vertical with 1. And the measure of angle 4. The measure of angle 4 would need to be 70 because it's a linear pair with 1.